Hold on. Oh, wait. Wait, hold on a minute. Ah, yeah. Ah, yeah. Hello. Hello. It is 10:22 Central Time, United States of America. Friday the 13th. Have you had any bad luck today? Have you? On the eve of the big annular eclipse in the United States. So I noticed Mr. Hemi Four Speed is giving me a hard time earlier. Yeah. Snakey's here. Hello, Snake. How are you, man? What's up? Good to see you again. Hope everything's all right. Zombro is here. Hello. So the eclipse is tomorrow. Zombro, you're going to get about 90%. Actually, I don't know where Snake is, but I know you're in Oklahoma. You're going to about a 90% totalitarian. So it'll be a good time. So enjoy that. Don't look at the sun, though, obviously. I think you're old enough to know better. Zombro, aren't you? All right. So I was watching Pearly Things earlier today. Austin area. Oh, you're going to get like almost 100% there, Pliskin. All right. Good luck, man. Except it's an annular, so it's still going to be, the sun will be there. But it's going to be fucking cool, man. And in 5 months, we're going to get a total solar eclipse in St. Louis. Oh my God. Yes. 7-year cycle, really. The last total solar eclipse in the United States was August, or was it, wait a minute, November of 2017. I was in Phoenix and I saw it. It was really fucking cool, by the way. Love eclipses. I mean, lunar eclipses are okay. The solar eclipses, though, it's kind of like, whoa, that's gnarly, right? That's where you throw, you sacrifice animals and shit in the volcano when that happens because you don't know any better. Sonic Viper is here. All right. Let's talk to Christine Grace. Anyway, I was watching Pearly Things, and this chick popped up, apparently friends of Pearly. And, well, she's English.
Democracy is a lie.
Yes,
we are fed the illusion of choice, but it is exactly what it says on the tin. An illusion.
Hello.
An illusion.
Hello. A little bit of, boy, sweetie, you got that makeup is a little thick, but okay. Now, excuse me, Hamster. Why don't you have Elizabeth on? Yes, she's my English ginger friend. She won't come on anymore. I guess
to give you a sense that you have some kind of freedom of choice in a world where there's really no choice at all.
Yeah, she's really packing on the makeup.
But all right, for a while that politics and democracy in general
reminds me of like the '60s sort of English chick, like Jane Asher, sort of. I don't know.
It's all just a big sham.
Must be the accent.
In Britain, every politician to me seemed like the same person in just a different color tie. We all go to give our little vote in our little... That's
because they are the same person, Chloe. Chloe? What's your name? Christine. I was thinking Chloe Grace Moretz, the chick, the kick-ass girl. But, that's different. Go ahead.
Polling stations in those little booths to vote.
They are the same, Christine. Yes, it's an illusion. Do you think if our vote actually mattered, the powers that be would let us vote? That's funny. That's funny.
Favorite color tie, but realistically, there's actually no difference to whichever.
They just let us vote on stupid. Oh, the transmissions in the bathroom. Oh yeah. Worry about that, you fucking plebeians. We'll worry about the other stuff like starting wars and shit and profiting billions of dollars by selling weapons to the people, the warring parties, because that's what we're all about here. We want your money.
Ties in government. Nothing really ever changes.
Nothing ever changes.
Same,
nope.
And all the changes that they seem to love to boast about on TV doesn't actually affect our day-to-day lives.
Politicians don't want to solve problems, dear Christine, because if they did, they'd have nothing to run on, right? How long have we heard about, we got to do the gun thing, or we got to do this or that? Nothing ever gets done. Because solving problems is not the job of these fucking evil alien lizard people. Their job is to perpetuate the problem. See, look at me. I tried, but the evil Republicans, etc. Same shit. Same shit.
As normal people. It just seems phony. So, of course, I've done...
Not only does it seem phony, Roger, it is fucking phony.
Digging, and well, to my surprise, I'm not surprised, my suspicions were pretty accurate, and everything I suspected was not only true, but actually a whole lot deeper than I thought.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now I don't know anything about this Christine woman here, but she looks pretty young, probably 22, 23, 24. Yeah.
Hey, happy Thursday! We're in August, so you know what that means.
It's hot. Yes.
Football season starts
It's throbbing.
again, which means fathers and husbands around the country are rejoicing that their one escape from their households is back on the horizon, and they can finally return to the home that they enjoy. It's just a joke, relax. Welcome back to another episode of Debunking the Lunacy. Today we will be debunking the lunacy of the idea that we live in a democracy. And the idea
See, if we did, we wouldn't give much of a fuck about what the 0.01% of the people have to say, would we? Majority rules, right?
idea that we have much of a say, if any, in, well, anything at all, really.
We don't. No. Nope.
The term democracy was first coined by the Greeks of Athens, meaning rule by the people. The term emanates from two Greek words that mean people, demos, and rule, kratos. National Geographic provides that democracy is the idea that the citizens of a country should take an active role in the government of their country and manage it directly through elected representatives.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is probably cool and shit, but the reality is it doesn't really work all that well. Night Vision Goggles is here. Hello. Rivon. Nothing gets fixed unless it's making money. Shars and Obler. Hello. Iridium Kush, the Kush Master. How's the harvest going there, Kush? I saw a little bit of your garden. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Anyway, let's get back to Chloe Moretz here. Let's see what she says.
In addition, it supports the idea that the people can replace their government through peaceful transfers of power.
That's the idea, isn't it? As Dianne Feinstein, the late senator, had to be wheeled into the fucking Senate on a hospital bed. As if there's no one else that could do that job. Right.
Rather than violent uprising or revolution. Thus, a key part of democracy is that people have a voice.
Yeah. We see. Here's the thing there, Christine. The Democrats, so to speak, democracy, unless they get democracy. And then they lose their fucking minds. See, there's a reason why they lost their fucking shit over Roe versus Wade. Why is that? Because most people in this country don't agree with their bullshit. That's democracy. We don't like that. No.
Great idea.
No.
The case. Democracy is more precisely defined in the Oxford Dictionary as a political system that allows the citizens to participate in political decision making or to elect representatives to government bodies. Yeah,
right.
Because we really have such an active say in political decision making.
No, we don't.
Questions surrounding the validity and utility of democracy.
See, I like this chick. She's cynical like me. Damn, if I were 25 years younger, I would love to disappoint this woman.
Can be traced back all the way to ancient Greece. Ancient Greek philosopher Socrates critiqued the idea of birthright democracy, the idea that anyone born into a democracy should have a say. He presented the following problem with the idea. Socrates provided that voting in an election is a skill, and giving the vote to everyone is irresponsible. I can agree with that. Both Plato and Socrates argued that the uneducated masses were unfit to both elect a ruler and to vote for the best policy. So
I can't agree more, dear. I can't agree more. Pretty much done. Yeah, Krush. Good. Yeah, I guess you dry the stuff out and then you, toke it up, bro. Okay, go ahead.
Socrates suggested a solution to birthright democracy. He suggested intellectual democracy, where only those who think about it should be allowed to vote. This presents another problem, which is that democracy is only so good as the educational system around it. Which, when you look at our current educational systems, we're not taught anything that could actually make us competent or intellectual enough to have any real power to make a change.
Well, gee, you'd almost imagine that that's the idea. One can only imagine.
Our educational systems are literally designed to make us the perfect 9-to-5 servants, and most of all to ensure that we do not question our rulers, because they always have our best interests at heart.
Of course they do. Yes, yes they do.
Socrates' great arguments for intellectual democracy can be found in Plato's Republic. Socrates argues,
I want to tell you a story.
Okay, Rabbi.
I used to believe that Jesus was a Catholic God of the Gentiles.
I imagined that Jesus was Italian. The New Testament was one of those books that I saw nuns reading on the subway.
Jesus was Italian. Well, that's new. He's
expecting to find
Jesus was Jewish, by the way.
and a handbook on how to persecute the Jews. I'm reading a story written by.
Go ahead.
who should choose the captain of a ship? Common people or sailors who are experienced and possess the knowledge necessary about survival on ships? Socrates simply wants a society that only the ones that possess the knowledge necessary to choose a leader votes for one. His fear is that uninformed people are more susceptible to manipulation of those who are with ill intent. A great
you think? Oh, yes.
rhetorician who has no intention of being a leader but only the intention to fatten their wallet can easily sway the masses to vote for them. We would call this type of politician a demagogue. Again, Socrates provides a great analogy to better understand this. He gives the example of the doctor and the sweet shop owner. The sweet shop owner can give the argument against the doctor that he gives you bitter syrups and pokes holes in you. He cuts your skin and takes your blood. But he, the sweet shop owner, can offer you many sweets and candies. Surely no one with their right mind would vote for the doctor. The sweet shop owner in this story is the demagogue. So in our modern
Or the Democrat. Here's some free shit. I know.
day Western democracy, we elect representatives who we believe
Who is it that falls through that? Oh, God. Hamster, why are you such an evil son of a bitch? I know. Is Polska Bob here? He is Polska. Hello, Polska. Did you see the cooking show we did the other night with the pierogi? I know you did. Stop it. Don't even lie to me. I did it just for you, Polska, because reasons.
are perhaps more informed to make decisions on matters of policy than, say, the average Joe. So we could argue, in a sense, that we have intellectual democracy, which is a good thing. That would firstly require us, the people, to be able to verify the intellect of our representatives on the matter of their policies, which we don't really have a say in. The problem is, politics is now far too tainted and corrupted by cronyism. Cronyism is the appointment of friends and associates to positions of authority without any proper regard to their qualifications.
Just like this morning, talking with Brandon Trueblood, it's like, how is it when the representatives, pick one, AOC, basically broke, right, gets elected, and suddenly she's a multimillionaire? How did that happen?
A reason for how this has happened could be found in the fact that big government and big business are now far too closely aligned because of lobbying. Lobbying is when individuals, businesses, trade unions, groups, or charities try to get a government to change its policies. Essentially, it's political persuasion to influence the people who make the rules, the legislators, and the regulatory agencies. Lobbyists are basically very good sales reps.
Yeah, here's the problem. It turns out that Congress makes the law. Can we see a problem here? They make the fucking rules up. So, it's fine. You can give me all kinds of money, insider trading. It's fine, no problem, because we make the fucking law. Yeah.
This is all far too easy to achieve when we look at the phenomena of the revolving door. So imagine you have lobbyists here on one side,
I do,
and the politicians, the rule makers, here on the other side. In the middle is a revolving door. Often,
you see, Senator Fuckface, I'm not saying that, if you do this thing, there might be a big fat consultant job when you retire from the. I'm not saying that. Saying something like that might be, illegal. So I'm not really saying that. But, there is the possibility that, hey, it could happen. I'm not saying it will, but I'm saying, maybe.
Times, the politician.
Big old fat board job on a defense contractor. All you got to do is show up a couple times a year to get a big paycheck. I'm not saying that's going to happen, Senator, because that's probably illegal, isn't it?
want to make more money, so they will leave their side, enter through the revolving door, and go work on the other side as a lobbyist for a private company. Along with
Yep.
them, they take their high connections and overall influence. This phenomenon of the revolving door analogy can be seen in many industries, where people will go from regulating an industry to them working in that industry.
No, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm not saying it's not going to happen. It's just one of those things.
Sometimes back and forth.
Don't worry, Senator. We're not trying to break any rules here. You got to do what's best for the people of the country. But if you did it this way, there might be, who knows?
And private companies will pay top dough to have people with such power, influence, and connections on their payroll. In return, the politicians will conveniently pass a few laws here and there that will inevitably benefit their future employers and ultimately their own pockets too. And
imagine that. I don't know, Cushy. You ever heard such crazy nonsense? It's not true. It's not true. Joel Syme is here. Liquor is the answer. Well, okay. I can actually almost read the fucking TV here. It's great. Yes. And yes, it is Beer Friday, so I can have some beers.
The law continues to revolve. We see all of these different laws that benefit some companies and inhibit others. Either way, they're all making money and it's not really harming them. But who does pay the price? Because
we do. Always.
Someone always does. Yes, that's right. You and I, all the way down at the bottom of the pile, having to deal with the consequences of the changing laws and policies left, right, and centre. A paper published to Sage Journals titled Life After Whitehall shows the career moves of British special advisors. Published on January 5th of this year, the paper provides analysis of an original dataset mapping the first job each special advisor landed in after leaving government, shows that the vast majority land in corporate lobbying and policy advocacy roles.
No shit, Sherlock. I never would have guessed.
So thanks to lobbying and cronyism, we definitely don't have Socrates' vision of intellectual democracy in place, but rather a democracy built up of demagogues.
Now, how do we solve this problem? Term limits would be one way. In the Constitution, thou shalt only serve XYZ. That would help. That'd be a first step. But that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
American writer, reporter, and political commentator Walter Lippmann published in 1922 his book titled Public Opinion, which poses a straightforward question very similar to Socrates' critique of democracy over 2,520 years ago. Can citizens achieve a basic knowledge of public affairs, then make reasonable choices about what to do? Lippmann's answer is no. And the whole point of the book is to expose the gap between what we say democracy is and what we know about how human beings actually behave. Lippmann provides the concept of organized or guided democracy, which is essentially the illusion of choice. Under guided democracy, the state uses propaganda techniques to prevent the electorate, you and I, from having any significant impact on policy. Professor of linguistics and writer Noam Chomsky proposed...
Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky. Yeah, the communist. But, even communists can be right once in a while. Kush says, interesting that you mentioned that. Okay, let me blow it up so I can read it. Interesting you mentioned that. I had a gentleman on the panel who was a politician until he got burned by the gynocentric system himself. Told me many interesting stories about law. Oh, yeah, I bet, Kush. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, it's fucking fake. It's phony. It's phony. The whole fucking lot is rotten. The whole fucking lot is rotten. We all know it, but what are we going to do about it? You're going to vote for the other guy, are you? Think it's going to matter?
Is that there are two conceptions of democracy in his book, Media Control, The Spectacular Achievements of Propaganda. One conception of democracy has it that a democratic society is one in which the public has the means to participate in some meaningful way in the management of their own affairs and the means of information are open and free. He adds that if you look up democracy in the dictionary, you'll get a definition something like that. The alternative conception of democracy is that the public must be barred from managing their own affairs. and the means of information must be kept narrowly and rigidly controlled. Chomsky emphasizes that that may sound like an odd conception of democracy, but it's important to understand that it is a prevailing conception. In fact, it has long been, not just in operation, but even in theory. If we briefly circle back to Walter Lippmann, we can find that there are two functions involved in democratic participation, for which he provides the following terminology for the two groups. Firstly, the specialized class. A small percentage of people, the responsible men, they carry out the executive function, which means they do the thinking, planning, and understand the common interests. They more than likely genuinely believe to some extent that they're doing good. There is that of the bewildered herd. They are purely spectators of action. This is the majority. People like us, with no power, believing we live in a democracy and that we have a say. The specialized
And believing our votes. Yep.
class tame the bewildered herd into guided democracy.
I mean, look at Polska Bob living in Chicago. Even the people of Chicago, I mean, most of them are fucking lefty communist types. Even they are going against the mayor about all this illegal alien shit. In Chicago. In Cook fucking County. Even they have had enough of this bullshit. It's about fucking time.
America's fourth president, James Madison, said, "The primary responsibility of government is to protect the minority opulent against the majority," which corroborates with Chomsky's claim that the alternative conception to democracy has long been in operation. We're simply
protecting the opinions of the minority. Yes, but elevating them to holier-than-thou, godlike status is what we're doing today. Oh my God, he's with me. Oh my God, we have to change the whole fucking country because of 0.01% of the people. No.
Please, spectators in democracy. We are not participants. We're just fed the illusion that we're.
But that's what we're doing, aren't we?
So how are we all so oblivious? Renowned psychologist, physiologist.
I'm sorry. We're not doing it. Our fucking politicians. Left, right, center, communists, they're all on board with this bullshit. And what are you going to do about it? You're going to vote for the other guy? Like that's going to fucking matter?
And great thinker during the 20th century, Sigmund Freud, is referred to as the father of psychoanalysis. Freud provided that he had discovered primitive sexual and aggressive forces hidden deep inside the psyche of all human beings that link back to our animalistic heritage. Forces for which, if not properly controlled, led individuals and societies into chaos and destruction. In the age of mass democracy, Freud's theories are used to control the savage crowd. It was actually Freud's nephew, Edward Bernays, who was
Bernays got them women to smoke cigarettes. Torches of freedom. Oh, it's called propaganda.
First person to take Freud's ideas of human behavior and use them to manipulate the masses. Edward Bernays helped to revolutionize and executed guided democracy in society. He is the author of Crystallizing Public Opinion and is considered a pioneer in the field of public relations and propaganda. Bernays and Freud's daughter, Anna Freud, invented the profession of public relations. They ultimately showed corporations and then governments how to manipulate people to want things that they didn't need by linking produced goods to their unconscious desires.
Not only that, it was Edward Bernays and his work that, Hitler was fond of it. So was Goebbels. Just saying.
These tactics were utilized by the US government, big business, and the CIA to manage and control the masses, and are continuously used today. The methods are highly effective. Instead of repressing the self, they infinitely feed its desires, ultimately keeping us sheep blind and asleep to their control through satisfaction. The first successful propaganda campaign by a modern government was during World War I in the US. This was under the Woodrow Wilson administration.
Woodrow Wilson was such a, he was a great president, wasn't he? Wasn't he? Follow the money on anything, Iridium Kush says. Exactly. Cui bono? Cui bono? Who benefits? That's all you got to figure out. Who benefits? That's it. Follow the money. Go on.
argues that during this time, most Americans were pacifists and wanted no part in the war. Wilson's government created a propaganda machine for which Edward Bernays was one of the young recruits. The initial campaign was called the Creel Commission, which succeeded in 6 months, turning the once pacifist population into a hysterical, warmongering one that hated anything German. The main control tactics used to control and propagate the masses.
Yes, we were neutral in World War I until 1917. Woodrow Wilson ran on the pledge, he will not go putting our men into war. And 3 months later, after the election, there we go.
Within a democracy.
In other words, it was all bullshit.
Fear, slogans, selective perception, creating division, the us and them mentality, the public illusion of separate parties, and public education. The Creel Commission used just these tactics, and I'm sure we can all think of many examples where fear, slogans, selective perception has been used in modern day history to propagate populations. Just a couple of examples that initially spring to mind for me are weapons of mass destruction in Iraq and support our...
We were just talking about that this morning. Brandon Trueblood on his world tour. Yeah, all those weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, which didn't exist.
Troops. In just my lifetime alone, we've heard not Flash, just Gordon.
But, you know, Saddam was a bad guy and shit. How about the 500 or 1,000 or 1,000,000 innocent Iraqi civilians that lost their lives? What about them? Well, yeah, but, you know, you got to break some eggs to make a fucking omelet. And people still think George Bush was this, oh, he was such a great president. He was Christian. Fuck George Bush. He was probably the worst, one of the worst presidents we fucking had, ever. And so was Daddy Bush.
Let's take back control. Get Brexit done. Stay home. Stay alert. Hands, face, space. And this is the political arena, and has been for a long time. But
remember what Saul Alinsky said? Never let a crisis go to waste. 9/11 happened. Well, we can't just go get the bad guys. We got to invade other countries. Do you see the picture? I think so.
Of course, to most of us bewildered
and
herd,
kill 1 million people. Some people might say murder 1 million people.
especially when kept happy with all of our desires fulfilled and satisfied, especially now in the age of instant next day deliveries, takeaways, fast food, Instagram likes, and everything else, we're none the wiser to what's
Fast
really
food.
going on. There's a reason politicians
roger
that
that.
are
Fast
actively
food.
anti-establishment are demonized, whether it be on the left or the right. It's the politicians that are actively and regularly villainized and targeted by the media that are the ones trying to help show people the name of the game and wake people up to this model of participants and spectators.
Yeah, yeah. You try to show people what the fuck's going on, then you get canceled. Russell Brand would be one example of that.
Can't think of any examples of politicians such as this over here
Lawrence Fox would be another example.
in the UK, but I can think of a current one in the US. I'm sure you know who I'm referring to. The belief that satisfaction of our individual desires is of the highest importance dominates our society and infiltrates our politics, especially on the left, where supporters are fed the lie that you can regain your individual power under the guise of a better democracy that is purely centered around feelings and ultimately unconscious and often twisted desire.
No. See, Chloe Grace, whatever your name is, Christine Grace. There's no illusion except for people who are stupid. Okay. People who have figured this out. You cannot close your eyes once you see it. Okay. It's bullshit. All of this is bullshit. It's a fucking game. Cheer for the fucking team. Team blue, team red. No, it's the same fucking team. As if, like the Chicago Bears split up and they have their practice squad and they got the real team and they're playing a fucking game. It's the same goddamn team. Don't sit there and be fooled. I know you guys are not fooled by this. Vote Republican, vote Democrat. Same fucking thing. Doesn't matter.
It seems to me, at least, that the only way to have any kind of power, or at least individual sovereignty, is to live in concrete reality. I hate to break it to you, but here in reality, your feelings do not matter. Nor
Feelings, not your fifis.
do your desires. We must wake up. We must think for ourselves. And
I mean, we are wakened. We are awakened. We're woke, sort of. Doesn't matter. Because if you push against the system, you say a couple things, you'll be canceled. But my vote means shit. You're voting for the same fucking team. What does it matter? They win, you fucking lose. You understand the fucking scene here on the fucking playing field? It is them, the elites, against us, the common folk. Doesn't matter who you vote for. Vote for fucking Trump. Doesn't matter. You saw what happened with Trump, right? Trump went in there, well, clearly a Nazi, right? Trump didn't clean out the fucking system. He pledged to us, I will drain the swamp. He didn't. Now, if Trump can't do it, who's going to do it? Mitt Romney? Nikki fucking Haley? Right. Vivek Swamy? No! They're all the same. They are the elites. We are not. It doesn't matter what we say. They're going to get their way, and fuck you very much.
Understand that we are nothing but cogs in this great machine. And so long as we're self-indulging in the instant gratification of feeding our desires...
As long as you keep buying shit, kids, you're fine. Get that new furniture. Get that $100,000 fucking pickup truck. God damn it, we live in a capitalist society. Your choices are free. You're a free person, are you? Are you really?
Falling for temptations of lust, greed, and living in blissful ignorance, we will forever be bewildered and controlled. Do you still believe in democracy? If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a thumbs up on your way out, and why not share it with a fellow member of the bewildered?
Oh, isn't she so cute, though? Oh my God! Look at her. Oh yeah. But Hamster, she doesn't have red hair. She's red adjacent. That's what Janis Joplin said. It's the same fucking thing. Over and over. Exactly, Joel. Exactly. It's the same fucking thing. Oh, vote for me and I'm going to do this, and they never do. Nobody ever does fucking anything. Especially if it doesn't benefit them. I mean, let's be honest here. All right, let's do another Chloe one here. Let me see if I can... Let's see. The illusion of choice and democracy.
Democracy is a lie.
Certainly is. All right.
We're fed the illusion of choice, but it is
Great
exactly
filter
what it
is
says
humanity's
on the tin.
test.
An
Leads for
illusion.
extinction.
An illusion to give you a sense that you have some kind of freedom of choice
Do
in a
women
world
really
where...
offer men? All right.
Feeling very excited right now. Why?
Oh no.
That, the amazing new iPhone 15
It's
Pro.
a fucking
Not just
iPhone.
Powerful and beautiful. No.
I mean, that's all you got to do, people. Buy a new iPhone, because that's that'll fix your life.
Baby's actually made with titanium. Yeah, I couldn't believe it either. And
It's got titanium and shit in there. Unobtainium is in there. Oh my
If
God.
you get it on Spectrum Mobile, you get the fastest wireless speeds.
I've gotten several emails a day. I've got a Verizon fucking account, right? And I've got this old phone, probably 5-6 years old, whatever. Oh, upgrade to the thing. Get the new Google. Get the new fucking Apple. It's like, excuse me, my phone still works. So why would I spend $1,000 to get another phone that's going to do the same thing as the phone I have now that's paid for? Oh my God, you're so square. Oh no.
Mesmerizing. Quick
Must
summary.
be a fucking
New
boomer.
iPhone, Spectrum Mobile, super fast.
I mean, fuck that.
about it.
Fuck it. Really? I got a phone that works, and I'm gonna.
You're a good man.
Fuck it, man. Jesus. All right. This is Flowers of the Moon here. Yeah.
The police do nothing.
Most
Yeah.
fellas
This is where the United States government went in there and murdered people in Oklahoma, Native Americans, because they happened to be given free land by the government that had all Looks like a good
The
movie
bigger
here.
question, because you have like these high standards for your man, right?
Oh my God, Allie. Hello.
What are you prepared to offer him?
Nothing. Zero. Nada.
Well,
I mean, I've got a disease-ridden vagina. You could have that.
myself.
But like,
Why does this make me laugh so much? Man, are you paying attention?
Alexander Grace. Hello.
The silence speaks volumes.
It's not just the silence either. It's when she answers the question. It's
just not the silence either. It's when she answers the question. Oh, I'm sorry. Is she English? Yes.
double blank and the head shake. Like,
Mm.
well, me, duh.
I mean, like, I've got a slice of pie in my pants, baby. It could be all yours. No problem.
Hey, welcome back to my channel. It's Christine Grace, and today is another reaction
Christine.
video. Today we are reacting to someone who I know you
Head adjacent. Close enough.
will very much enjoy his videos. So do I. I've become a big fan. Alexander Grace.
That's the new thing, though, to like put a thing in your hair like that. Okay, well, these kids, yeah, they're crazy.
I'm pretty sure he actually saw one of my reactions recently.
No way. He saw one of your reactions to me. Oh my God. No way. Spider Spectre is here. Lord Black Eagle is in the building. Her lips are all over that. Oh my God. You're such an evil man. I mean, so yes, Iridium Kush. Fem Sapien. Didn't she roast you at some point, Kush? Remember that? I think we did a stream on that. Yeah, okay. Go on there, Chloe.
And he commented, so thank you so much for noticing me, and
got moist.
Yeah, big fan of your videos, guys. Please do go check him out. Go subscribe to his channel. You can look him up on YouTube, Alexander Grace, and he has a Patreon as well, so make sure you go support him because he's doing very important work. And yeah, super cool that he noticed one of my
Christine Gracie Smithy
videos. So yeah, let's see what this one has in store for us.
high standards for your man, right? What are you prepared to offer him?
Well, myself.
Like, well, what do you think that you? Okay.
Man, I've seen that clip like a few times. I didn't think that I would laugh again. For some reason, the silence, it just tickles me. And then the woman.
I'm going to give him a vagina dripping with herpes. Roger. Yes, the herpes dripping pie.
And like, who's asked the question, who's like, gets that meaningless answer. It's like flabbergasted. Well, like, okay, I guarantee.
Now, I mean, notice the Christine here, right? What is it about women? They're always touching their hair and they're, moving stuff, and they can't just sit there. I'm not slamming it. It's just women are like that, It's the way girls are.
Here, it's the first time in her life that she's ever thought about it. Like, what would I
smelled your face?
I have to offer a man. That's why she's completely speechless. She doesn't know what to say. It's like the question broke her brain. She's like, yeah, like I have high standards for men.
Well, just hush your mouth, Hamster.
Be this. He has to do this. So you ask her, so what are you willing to offer?
The error 404 page came up.
Boom.
For him in return? And it's like an error message in her.
There you go.
I promise you guys, I have not seen this video before this. I didn't know he was going to say that.
Brain. She doesn't understand.
First time ever I smoked your dope, cushy. What is wrong with you, Hamster? Plenty. Spider Spectre, would you like a half-eaten roast beef that's been wiped on the? Yes, the Fromunda, cheese. Oh my God!
And it doesn't compute. Like, I'm a woman. I'm perfect. What is the question? What do you mean? I'm laughing, but in truth, the psychology behind it is actually pretty dark. This is what it reveals: is that the women, they believe themselves to be up here as a just default, like de facto, like I'm a woman, I'm amazing. But for a man,
I am woman, hear me roar, in numbers too big to ignore. Oh, whatever it's time to matter.
He has to earn his way.
Where's the goat?
Up to being her equal, to be worthy of her. He has to be this, he has to do this, he has to perform in this way, and only then is, he worthy of being in the same
Right.
sentence as a woman? It's pretty dark, and the more I'm going to explain here, the worse it's going to seem. In this video, I'm going to explain relationships in a way that you've probably never heard before.
Yeah, I mean, this woman here looks like Jane Asher. So she'd be hanging out with the Beatles like in 1965. I can see that. Yeah.
But once
and she's English.
you understand it, you're going to see why she had complete silence of being asked that question.
Right.
And first of all, don't think for a moment that this woman is rare or.
Now, I believe this chick here has got an Only Corns page. Who in the fuck? Excuse me, gentlemen. Who in the fuck would pay to see this thing? This one here. Who would pay? Come on now.
Some kind of exception. That silence that you saw, her being speechless, that's what most women are going to respond with. I encourage you to go and try this out. Ask the women in your life. First, ask them, what does a man need to be, or what does a man need to do in order to be your partner, to be worthy of you?
There we go.
And then, sit patiently while you listen to a very long list. Oh, he needs to be like this. He needs to be like this. He needs to be like this. He needs to be doing this. And, if he fulfills all those criteria, then yeah, now I'll be with him, And then, just like the interviewer asked this woman, ask her in all sincerity what she's going to offer a man in return.
Nothing.
Be prepared for the same speechless response. Say that silence is actually deeply revealing of just how much sexism exists in our culture towards men. And perhaps worse than that, worse than the existence of that sexism, is just how unconscious women are of their own sexism. What do
Alexander, you're expecting women to take responsibility for anything? Sir. Yeah, Zellenmaster, the dude, yes, it mostly happened on the weekends when most people have been drinking. I mean, to be fair, what does the dude say? The dude is here. Abide by the dude, dudes. The dude is here. I mean, to be fair, I mess around with my mustache a lot. Yes.
do I mean by that? Okay, let's start with the basics. Let me tell you something that maybe nobody's ever told you before, which is that romantic love is transactional. Anybody who is expecting their partner to love them unconditionally, to just love them no matter what, feels that way because they were not properly loved by their own parents.
I'm not slamming it. It's cute. She's a woman. Girls do that. I mean, come on.
Had a frozen emotional need, and so they turn their partner into a surrogate parent and then try and fix their childhood issues by shaming their partner for not loving them unconditionally. And yes, it is exactly as messed up as it sounds.
I didn't know Alexander Grace was a ginger
parent. It's incredibly toxic, it's codependent, and in time it will inevitably become abusive.
And it's very common as well. And I think it's
as well.
It's all about awareness. People need to be aware.
It's all about,
This is such a pattern. The patterns that you get from your parents.
Patterns. What is it about the English? They just miss that. Patterns. What? Patterns. You missed it's English. Patterns. There's no R in there. Come on.
Tend to reoccur in your romantic relationships. You need to be so aware of the patterns that you have, and the patterns that are sort of ingrained in you, to be able to be aware of how and when they're manifesting in your relationship and if that's healthy or not. And ultimately that's on you. That's your responsibility to do that, to recognize that yourself. You can only control yourself and how you conduct yourself.
You evil man, you. We gotta say it.
But you can't expect someone else to recognize that in you because they're not you. They don't know the kind of upbringing that you've had, and even if they do, they only know stories. They weren't there. You were there, so you need to recognize perhaps unhealthy patterns in yourself, which I know is easier said than done. But that's your responsibility as a human being. You've got to deal with your own emotional shit and not try not to place it onto other people.
Because at a core level, it's trying to judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree. The love of a romantic relationship was never meant to be the same kind of love that you see in a parent.
Well, partner, I need a fish that can climb a tree. And if he can't do that, I got nothing for you.
Child relationship. A good mother does love her child unconditionally, at least for the early years. And it's been well established that children do need that. That meets a developmental need that they have. But as they get older, they mature, they grow up, they move on. Adults who are raised by healthy, well-adjusted parents don't crave unconditional love in their romantic relationships because they understand that was a need they had when they were a toddler. They don't need that as an adult. They understand that romantic love is different in substance because romantic love is transactional in its nature. It has to be because romantic love is voluntary. Nobody's forcing you to become someone's boyfriend or girlfriend, and it doesn't make sense to voluntarily spend your life with somebody unless you are selfishly receiving a benefit.
Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Let it shine. Yeah.
Men and women in romantic relationships trade with each other. I'll bring this to the relationship if you bring that to the relationship.
It's a good song,
I need
actually.
you to bring a little bit more of that, but if you do, I'm prepared to bring a little bit more of this.
It's work, isn't it? It's a full-time job. It requires maintenance. It's, you know, it's two parties coming together.
She looks like a Christmas present. I would love to unwrap. Oh my God.
On an agreement, and there are terms and conditions of that agreement.
And if we both think that we're getting a good deal, then we'll go ahead with the relationship.
Unfortunately, a lot of women have been fed the fairy tale and the Disney story of what love is supposed to be, and it's important to
Simpity doo da, simpity yay.
remember that Disney stories, you know, they are for children. Often romantic relationships that you see in Disney stories, at least the original ones I'm talking about, where the prince often has to work to get the princess kind of type story. They are made for infants, so of course they're gonna, you know, portray things a bit more romanticized, a bit different. But yeah, it's not the real world. It's not reality. And reality is you're not a princess. You're not an infantile princess.
You're not a princess. I just so much fun. All right, who's in here? The dude. Hey, dude. Good to see you, man. All right, Zella Master, mystery man, ginger women, and their flaming vaginas. Aerodynamic says 1,000 clocks stare. Oh, good to see you. Agent Marathon. Dr. Ginger Hamster. Let's see here. Knows and prescribes the best medicine, beer for Friday. Indeed, I am a professional. So you can drink freely. It's Friday. Just don't drink and drive. Polska Bob says, me spell no good. Polska, are you smoking mushrooms again? Jesus. I mean, nothing against it, but
you're an adult, and you should be a mature and healthy adult, and you need to understand that any relationship, whether it be a romantic relationship, a business relationship, any kind of relationship, there are terms and conditions that need to be agreed upon. You know, we're not gonna intentionally try and hurt each other. You know, we're gonna aim to be the best that we can and strive.
I mean, yeah.
Toward the best that we can possibly be together, and when you're down, I will try my best to pick you back up, and vice versa.
When you're down and troubled, and you need a helping hand,
these things need to be articulated.
God, it's like a fucking concert for free, guys. I mean, Jesus, I should get a PayPal. You could give me money, I could be stupid
and discuss. Just as say in a business relationship, you would articulate and discuss the terms of that business relationship. I will give you this for this price, and you know, in return you will get this. This all needs to be.
I mean, she could be reading Harry Potter
established, and I know that can seem a lot.
Hogwarts. How would you say it? Hogwarts. They don't like R's in England. You know, it must be a royal thing. They don't like always
for some people, but unfortunately, welcome to the real world.
Send the owl, for God's sake.
Of being an adult. This is just how it is. If you want it to work, this is how it is. It's not a fairy tale, I'm afraid.
And it'll serve both.
It's not a fairy
and I like
tale.
the fact that Alexander here talks about the fact that it's very dangerous and dark to see it as a fairy tale. You know, often they'll hear people like me saying things like, it's not a fairy tale, and like, get a grip and pull yourself together and be an adult, and it can just seem very harsh, like I'm trying to tear down the fairy tale. It's like, no, I'm not just trying to tear down the fairy tale. The reason I'm saying that the fairy tale is a delusion and that it's not healthy for you to remain in that delusion is because there is nothing worse, and Jordan Peterson says this all the time, but there is nothing.
I mean, I should have put a trigger warning up here. It's like, okay, this kind of sounds maybe like your ex-wife, just always talking. Always. Excuse me, Hamster, you do that too, right? Yeah.
Worse than infantile adult.
You got me.
It's dark,
You got me.
It's twisted. It's messed up. There's something not right about it. So you don't want to be an infantile adult. You don't want to be living in a fairy tale when you're a full-blown adult. You don't want to be expecting fairy tales when you're a full-blown adult because that's very unhealthy. It's very dark. It's very twisted.
Yes.
Not only are you probably going to hurt yourself because chances are the relationship's not going to work out with that line of thinking, but you're probably likely going to hurt someone else as well, because what are infants good at? They're good at acting on their impulses, acting on their emotions, not being able to comprehend complex situations.
Did I tell you I made these great noodles today with tomato sauce and stuff? Ooh. Gotta tell you, once in a while the hamster, hits a fucking home run. It does happen once in a while. Okay, sweetie.
And often they break things. They don't mean to, but they break things because they're not fully adjusted to the world yet. They're not fully able to navigate. And they can get away with it because they're children. You're not a child. You're an adult. So you do need to get a grip.
Okay.
You do need to get it together.
Modern women like this one have a 50% understanding of that. She understands on her end that it makes no sense for her to be in a relationship with a man unless he's bringing some tangible improvements to her life. In order for her to commit, she needs to know that it's selfishly going to be in her best interest to be with him. That part she understands. She's got that 50% absolutely down. But the missing 50% is where she is meant to serve her husband and his needs. When you ask modern women, what are you going to do to improve the
Excuse me, you evil Nazi.
life of the man that
What do you mean serve your husband? Oh my God.
with, what are you going to bring to the table? What are you going to offer him? That's where you get that error message where it's like, it doesn't compute. This question makes no sense. I'm the woman. I'm meant to receive. I'm not meant to give. And that's why I say that modern women in this culture have a deep, toxic, unconscious sexism against men. We saw exactly.
You're not wrong, Alexander. You're not wrong.
Examples of that in my course. So where did this sexism come from? And why does nobody seem to notice how sexist the average woman is? Why does no one talk about it? A lot of it goes back to the lack of understanding about the
or there's that, or they have vaginas and tits. Alexander. That's it. Might have something to do with the tits. I don't know.
Transactional nature of relationships and a misdiagnosis of the dynamics behind traditional marriages. A lot of what we're seeing now is this backlash against this false narrative. So let me unpack this. Radical feminists railed against the traditional marriage structure. They called it exploitative and controlling. You think of like a typical 1950s, husband and housewife. Now, there is a legitimate argument to be made that when gender roles are too strictly enforced by a culture, it is unnecessarily restrictive on personal liberty. But
yes, Mr. Alexander, yes. And there might be a fucking reason. There might be a reason why it's restrictive. Just saying. Okay.
My God, the overcorrection in the modern era is insane. And frankly, the demonization
It's too far the other way.
of the men of the past is disgusting. The painting of all married men in the past as these toxic, controlling, abusive patriarchs who exploited
Rapists,
their wives
Nazis,
is
right.
fucked up. That is a deeply sexist narrative. And it's just plain wrong. Let's look at traditional marriages through the lens of a transactional relationship and see how it stacks up. Okay, what are your expectations of a traditional man? Provide the money. Don't hit her. Don't cheat on her.
Right.
It's pretty basic. It's pretty low expectations, but
Yeah, just don't be an asshole. Sure. Okay. And the expectations that she brings to the table.
back in the day, as long as a man
Nothing.
fulfilled those criteria, he was considered a good man, and it benefited her. Of course it did. That's why women back in the day wanted to get married, because the marriage would provide safety, security, dignity, respect from her friends and neighbors. And what did she provide in return? Gratitude, housekeeping.
And she got dick. So, let's not forget about that.
All the cooking and cleaning, raising children, sex.
Cooking and cleaning and sex.
These elements formed the basic transaction that so many couples made. Their pair bonding was concretized using these elements as the cement. Hey, husband, you go out into the world, you take your masculine energy, and then you trade your labor for some money, and then you bring that money back and spend it on the household. Hey, wife, okay, I'll do that, but I'm out here working hard, so while I'm working, can you make sure that everything in the house is clean, that the children are being raised properly, and that there's a hot meal on the table when I get back from work? That's it. It's not.
It was so simple.
That controversial. That was the trade being made.
Yeah, so oppressive. Obviously, you suffer from internal misogyny, Chloe. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? Oh,
Hey,
no.
it's not the radical exploitation that feminists were making it out to be.
Of course it isn't. Never was. Good to hear you come to that understanding, Alexander.
Parties were benefiting from this transaction. You could say that the woman's life was pretty boring, being stuck at home and doing all of that housework. But I mean, yeah, the man's.
And the man's life was what? Exciting. Going into work 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, putting widgets, tops and bottoms. Oh my God. It's so boring for her because she has to clean the house. What about him? He's putting the same tops on the same bottoms 60 fucking hours a week. Oh, but it doesn't matter because he's the man. Oh my God, it's only the women.
What's also really important to notice is that feminists eradicated a lot of those women's voices. Majority of those women didn't find it boring. Or like, okay, maybe they did, but like they didn't care. They didn't actually want anything to change. In my family at least, you know, my dad's parents, that was their setup. My granddad, so my dad's father, was born in 1917. So, you know, they lived through the 30s, 40s. My dad was born in 55.
My grandfather was born in 1921. And my mother born in 43 and the old man in 35. So yeah, we're there. Yeah.
And that was the setup, you know. My granddad went out to work, he brought the money home, and my nan stayed at home and raised my dad. And when my dad
So let's talk about how bored men were. No. No. That's their expectation. That's what they should do because they're a man after all, aren't they?
started going off to school, she had a part-time job in the bakery for maybe 3 hours a day.
Sure.
But it was just to give her something to do because the housework was done and she was always there to be able to be home and, you know, pick my dad up from school and be home when he got home from school.
I mean, you know, think about it. Oh, God. Hamster, you just want kids with women back in the kitchen with their bare fists and pregnants. No. Imagine if you were like 70 years ago, stay-at-home mom, right? Got the kids. Dad goes to work at the factory, putting tops on bottoms for 12 fucking hours every day. You send the kids off to school. So after what, 8 o'clock in the morning, you got a whole fucking day to yourself. Yeah, we could vacuum and you could do anything. Of course, you didn't have the internet, but you can go to the library, get some books. You could get some skills. You could play the piano. Oh my God, you could read. Oh my. This was fucking hell. According to the fembots. This was fucking hell. And now what do we have? Well, girlfriend, you can fucking stay at home. You got to go out and work like the old man did, putting tops on bottoms. And you're supposed to think it's a great fucking step forward. Oh, well, Right.
And there would always be a hot plate down at dinner ready for my granddad when he got home from work. So it's not like these women were like stopped from working. Like when she got bored or whatever, you know.
Of course, yeah. She could go get a job or volunteer at the SPCA or whatever the fuck. What is that? SPCA? Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, SPC. You know what I mean.
A lot of these women had these part-time jobs where for a couple of hours while the kids are at school, maybe they'd go work in the bakery or the library or help out at the hospital.
Yeah.
You know, and they just did it because not because they needed the cash, but because it gave them something to do.
Something to do, yes.
It definitely wasn't this tyrannical setup that the feminists try and make out that it was.
Is life going to some?
Oh, it's bullshit. You know that, Chloe. Come on.
That's not to
it's bullshit.
The fact that there are exceptions to the rule, and unfortunately, as there always is in history, of course, there would have been tyrannical, oppressive relationships where, unfortunately, the woman may have been subject to abuse. But my point is that it's an exception; it's not the rule. And the problem is that the feminists have tried to make it the rule. They tried.
Well, that's what they always do, don't they? They take a corner case and say it is The way it is for every woman. Get the fuck out of here. Rusty Rivers is here. Hey, Captain Crunch. Oh my God, good to see you, man. Hope you had the same thing I had last week. So, man, fucking gout. Ugh. President-elect Pressure 609. I just want their uterus and milky tits. Well, who doesn't? Who doesn't want some big hooters? Oh, God. All right, Rusty, what are you saying? I can send you some of my gout Medicaid. Nah, it's fine. I'm done. Yeah, it's over. It's just the swelling is all. Just takes a little bit for the swelling to go. Although I played some guitar today, so it can't be that bad, right? So, but 2 days ago I couldn't move my fucking hand. So yeah, I've been here before. But thank you, sir. I hope you're feeling better, because that fucking sucks. Anyway, go ahead, Chloe.
Get the rule that the 1950s housewife was this poor oppressed woman
Yes.
who was abused by her husband and
Yes.
sort of chained up against the radiator type shit. Like, it's just, it is incredibly sexist towards
Get
women,
in the
feminists who
kitchen,
try to say that
bitch.
to the past generation of men.
Factory or office job, it's pretty boring too. This is not a story of exploitation.
Oh my God. So he went out to work for 12 hours a day, putting tops and bottoms, and he came home and wanted to have a drink. Oh my God, I had to make the drink for him. What is this fucking oppression? Jesus Christ.
Both genders suffered under their roles, but they're working together. They're creating this partnership in order to benefit each other and themselves. But somehow this awful sexist narrative that marriage was inherently exploitative and, men were controlling women through the institution of marriage. That's what went mainstream. That's what people believed.
Yep.
My guess is that there were probably enough examples of genuinely horrible men who treated their wives like property and were like abusive to them, that there was enough ammunition for feminists to point to those examples and then paint the whole concept of traditional monogamy and commitment as though it reflected those fringe cases. And maybe it wasn't fringe, maybe it was 10, 20, 30%, I don't know. But whatever the number, if you ask modern women coming up in the culture today what their opinion of those traditional marriages were, they'll all tell you the same thing. That was back when women were treated like slaves and they were abused by men and they were exploited. That's their perception of what that marriage was.
And it's all bullshit. Top to fucking bottom, it's bullshit. We know this. So does Chloe. It's bullshit. Go on.
Concept of the actual transaction that was being made. If you ask them about the suffering that the men might have encountered in fulfilling their role of the bargain, how hard it was to go out to work, to have all those financial responsibilities on his shoulders, any of the suffering that came with his roles, it's completely dismissed, negligible, unimportant. We don't care about men's suffering.
Tops on bottoms, 12 hours a fucking day. And somehow that was exciting. Something to look forward to. What a bunch of shit.
But the woman's suffering, she had to do all that housework. She
Oh my
was
God.
bored, sitting alone. Her children sometimes acted terribly and she had to deal with that. Oh my God. Protect them, protect the precious women. And conveniently, we'll also completely ignore all of the benefits that marriage brought to a woman's life. It even got to the point where you had radical feminists claiming that motherhood was a form of exploitation of men, a way to keep...
No. Let's go through the litany of all this. Let's see. Okay. You get a free house. You get a free TV. You get free cable. Well, not back then, but free cable, free radio, electricity, heat, water, food, clothing, for free. All you had to do was vacuum the floor once in a while. Maybe bring the old man a drink when he came home at 6 o'clock after a 12-hour fucking day at the Tops on Bottoms factory. Oh my God, the fucking oppression. Holy shit.
Women enslaved and in bondage. Motherhood is exploitation of women. Think about that. Think about how twisted and far from reality you have to go before you can say something like that with a straight face.
Yes.
And so for modern women who sincerely believe this stuff, you can see why they can't just settle for the old transaction. You do your masculine part, I'll do my feminine part. Because to them, that seems like exploitation. That seems like slavery. It's sexist.
But I mean, my God, Alexander, don't you know that the poor woman who was oppressed, back in the 50s, she had to drive the brand new station wagon purchased by the old man putting tops on bottoms for 12 hours a fucking day. She had to go down to the grocery store and get some food. The oppression. My God, man, what the fuck?
Exploitation. I'm a modern woman. I need more. So specifically, what do modern women want? You know, you ask them, what are you expecting? Well, I'll tell you one thing. They're still expecting to be financially taken care of. Despite all the claims of gender equality, if you ask a woman how she wants her husband
It's so full of hypocrisy.
to spend his time, she's going to talk about his job, about how much money he's going to be bringing home. I've never met a woman who asked, what's your ideal man in the future? Her saying, oh, I don't want him to work. I want him to stay home and be a house husband and raise the children.
Right. And all the financial responsibility is on me.
Children, while I go and make
Said no woman fucking ever.
the money. Women still want men to provide the money. Watch this clip.
What would your husband's income be?
Like 200,000 plus 200.
$200,000 a year. 200,000.
Like 100K and up. If the average is like 50, maybe like 7.
Average is 50. Average is 50. I'm pretty sure here in the UK the average is like 25k, if that.
Yeah, it's some 25, 30. Yeah. Yes.
I'm pretty sure it's like 20 to 25k.
But of course, that whole Pareto principle thing, women only going for the top, that's bullshit. You're an evil misogynist. You don't know what you're talking about, Hamster. Yeah. Okay.
Could be wrong, and I will look it up after this.
200K.
I don't get this wrong again, but I'm pretty sure it's like around that number, somewhere in between 20 to 30k. I think is the average per year.
I mean, I don't know. Iridium Kush is in the chat, or at least he was. I don't know what this man makes, but he's been doing his career for 25, 30, 35 years. He might be above that kind of amount. I don't know. But you're not going to get that kind of dough starting out as a young man. It doesn't happen that way. But okay, it's the illusion of bullshit. Wow, he should be making $200,000, but he should also be my age and tall and what the fuck, people, women, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Okay, so in America, what's that? Maybe 30 to 40k. Average is 50k. Here in the UK, if you make 50k, you're already in the top tax bracket. Like you're already above most people. Where are they getting these numbers from? Who is lying to these young women?
They're just making shit up. That's what's happening.
70 plus.
Okay.
I guess maybe like 80K.
Okay. His income should be something close to about 160,000.
$160,000 a year.
I would like to say maybe 100,000 at least. Yeah.
This is so.
Yeah, he's not your age though. He's about 10 years older than you. But
High, but I guess you'd have to be like a millionaire.
A million.
So they all give different answers. Some of those women, I mean, the entitlement and hypergamy is just off the charts. But what they all have in common that they don't even question is, yeah, my husband has to work. He has to be making money. So that hasn't changed.
And that's, that's fine. I mean, look,
unless he's the hot hamster bass player. In that case, he's just a fuck toy. Trust me, I know.
Completely inferring what Alexander is saying here, but that's fine. We know women are hypergamous. It's fine to want a guy who goes out and works. It's fine.
Sure.
But the problem is when all women think they're entitled to this 100k a year man, not realizing that is a very small percentage of men. It's like, okay, you want a guy who works, fine, but why does he need to earn 80k? Why does he need to earn 100k? You can survive as a family of 3, and I am saying this from personal experience. You can survive as a family of 3, child, mother, father, on a 35 to 40k. My dad did it. He looked after me and my mum, no problems. I never went without. I never suffered. Never went to school with holes in my shoes. I had everything I wanted. Everything I wanted. Every Christmas and birthday was magical.
Birthday. Roger that. The birthday.
problem here. It's gone off the rails. It's gone too much. Like, there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with us acknowledging the facts of nature. Women are hypergamous.
Yes.
And that's fine. It's always been like that. But somewhere along the lines, there was a shift of I'd like a guy who's hardworking and goes out to work to I want this millionaire type man. So suddenly we've disregarded the majority of men out there for
Mhm.
this one type of man. And then we will complain when that one type of man has 20, 30, 40, 50 options before him. But it's like, well, we've created that. We've shot ourselves in the foot because we've said we've completely disregarded all of the normal, good, hardworking men out there for this specific type of man. And then we'll complain that he's working 80, 90 hours a week for a job that pays 180k a year or whatever it may be. They're not thinking these things through. Also, who is lying to these women and telling them that these are like average numbers? Who is lying to them? Come forward, admit it. Who are you? Who are you? Tell us who you are and stop doing it. Stop lying to them. Because they clearly...
I mean, Chloe, they don't have to be lied to. They live in a fantasy world where unicorns and shit are flying around. No one has to lie to them. They make it up themselves, Christine.
Really aren't willing to look for themselves.
That traditional expectation is absolutely still there. But if a man thinks that that's all that's expected of him is those traditional masculine roles, he's just got to bring home a paycheck and, you know, don't hit her, don't cheat on her, and that's going to be enough, is delusional. Modern women need equality, which specifically means he needs to do equal work in all the areas that were traditionally a woman's role. Equality means the man needs to do half of the cleaning, half of the shopping, half of the...
But they want a guy who earns 200k a year. So he's probably going to be working between maybe 70 to 80 hours.
80, 90 hours a week, yeah. And men come home and change nappies.
Hours a week to be earning that kind of money. I mean, we're talking maybe a partner in a law firm. You're looking at 80, 90 hours per week. How is he supposed to...
You're looking at a person, a human being, who devotes his or her entire fucking life to work. Who wants to be around a person like that? I mean, nothing against it. I mean, if that's what you want to do, but who wants to just, don't you sometimes just want to hang out, you know? It's like, all right, well, tops and bottoms for 12 hours a day. Can we sit down and watch a movie? You know? Can we fuck on the couch or something? Anything, right? You want a $200,000 person. They're going to be in the office for fucking 12, 15 hours a day. Who wants that? Who wants to live that kind of life? Sure, yeah, money is great. Right. Stack up the cash. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. What about living? You know, is it really worth it? Do you want to work your entire fucking life just to get a stack of cash? Or would you rather live your life? You know, go to the beach, sit and for hours and stare at the fucking ocean. Or whatever you want to do. Is it worth it? 120 hours a week. Well, I'm making this kind of money. Really? But do you have a life? Just wondering.
To do half of the washing up, half of the cooking, half of the child rearing when you want him to earn figures like that. And chances are you're not earning figures like that. So it's the hypocrisy, isn't it? It's the hypocrisy in, oh, well, I want equality, but I also want these traditional values as well. It's like, no, that's not going to work.
The cooking, half of the parenting. That's what equality looks like. But I actually wouldn't argue that that's the biggest additional expectation on top of men from the traditional days. No, the biggest new expectation from women of their boyfriends and husbands is that that man is going to be there to meet all of her emotional needs.
This is such a big one. This is such a big one. I'm so glad he's brought it up because it's so true. And I often fall into this pattern as well of, you know, talking about the ridiculousness of, you know, women want this high earning, high value man. That this side doesn't get spoken about enough. It's so bad. We have so many women now who expect their man to essentially be their therapist. They don't understand that their emotions are their responsibility. Now, that is not to say that you don't deserve a partner who is supportive and can be there for you when you need the support. But it does acknowledge the fact that support means support. It's there when you need it.
Yeah. So We're supposed to work 120 hours a week, earning all the money, and then come home and be the fucking therapist. Really? Anything else can I do for you? Because you have a vagina.
And, you know, a lot of women think they need all of this help and support and a shoulder to cry on, when oftentimes it's actually unhealthy that they're doing that. It becomes very codependent, as he said before. But it, you know, it's facts. It becomes very codependent. It becomes very toxic and unhealthy, and it takes away the adult responsibility of recognizing that your emotions are your responsibility to deal with. And actually, it is cruel and it is unfair to unload that onto someone else, especially someone you love. That's not.
Yeah. Joel Syme says right here, exactly. I'm not doing half, I'm doing all. I'm a bachelor, I do it all. Laundry, cooking, exactly. And, you know, you hear a lot of times these women, oh my God, you know, I got to clean and I might have to put a fucking laundry in the fucking thing. What did you do when you were single? Did that just magically happen? Everything was done for you. You did it. We all have to do it. You throw a fucking laundry in the thing, you hit the button, Jesus Christ, end of the fucking world. Oh my God, I'm so oppressed with this big machine. Fuck off. Come on now. This is bullshit. We all know it's bullshit. Anyway, Iridium Kush is here. He says, it's why I don't understand greed. I make enough to live comfortably. That's all I ask for. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I could probably make a lot more money. You know, why? Work, 100 hours a week. Sure, I can make more money, but can I have something like a life? You know? Jesus. All right, go ahead, Christine.
Nice. If it doesn't feel nice in you, if the emotions you're feeling don't feel nice in you, why do you feel better unloading them onto someone else? It doesn't make any sense. It's not nice to do that.
Show your
It didn't used to be that way, but if you are her husband, then you're expected to listen to every thought, every feeling, every opinion, every emotion she's experiencing. And you have to respond perfectly. And if what she's going through is quite distressing to her, it's your job as the man to fix it. I hate to sell out my own gender here, but us men, we're not particularly good at doing that.
Fair enough. Fair point. Yeah.
Conversations that are, highly emotional and require a lot of introspection.
Oh my God. I looked at the laundry. It's like, well, where's my life? Oh my God. I need that. All right. Okay.
Yeah, that's not our strong point. But still, that is now part of the minimum expectations for a man. So if you think that you can just be nice to her.
All men now need to be a certified, qualified therapist. It's yeah, we're expecting of men something that they're not even good at. And then when they fall.
Not only that, but if if the man in the equation has some problems, wants to, hey, oh God, this thing and that thing and that. Oh, shut up. You don't have problems. You're fucking privileged. Suck it up, you big bastard. Listen to my fucking problems. Oh, God. Oh, all of you men who are here know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, God.
All short, we're like, how dare you? It's so awful, Oh, he was emotionally abusive because he couldn't be my therapist. Yeah, it's not good. It's unhealthy.
Her and hand her some middle class, paycheck each week, and then you.
Oh, farm bill. There we go. Right.
If, however, you want a resolution to a problem, men are good at that. Men are good at solving problems. But there's a big difference between solving a problem and providing emotional support, and women often confuse the two, and they think.
I mean, yeah. I've been with women. They don't want a problem. They don't want a resolution to the problem. What they want to do is bitch about the problem. And I understand that. But me being an engineer who, my entire fucking job is to solve fucking problems. And then they're, oh my God, you don't understand me. Oh my God. You present to me a problem. I will give you solutions. I'm terribly fucking sorry. Because we don't want to sit here and bitch. Well, occasionally we do. But Hamster, that's all you do on this fucking channel. It's a fair point, I guess.
Oh, I want him to solve my problems. It's like, no, you don't. You want to whinge and you want someone to listen to you whinge.
You want to
Problem is,
whinge.
men struggle to just listen to you whinge. It's annoying as shit. Two, if they're annoyed as shit by you whinging, they're going to want to stop that whinging. How do they do that? Well, you're presenting a problem. They're going to try and fix that problem. And that is in their nature. And thank God it's in their nature because we have all of the great things that we have in the world thanks to men having this nature of fixing problems. But yeah, emotional support isn't their strong point. So you can't, you can expect them to be a competent adult enough to give you a basic level of emotional support that we can all give each other as human beings. That's not really a gendered issue. But, advanced emotional support over complex emotional issues, yeah, most men aren't going to be great at that. So go to your girlfriends, go to your mom, go to a cousin, go to some kind of nurturing motherly figure, preferably someone who is self-aware. But
yeah, women always misunderstand that whole thing. It's like, yeah, we're gonna go work on the car, me and the boys, Saturday morning. Yeah, you're gonna go work. Yeah, we got to get the car fixed. Got the carburetor's bad and the fucking air cleaner and the fucking the blinker fluid. The fucking blinker fluid keeps leaking out, and I say, You think we go there to not get therapy with other men? Oh, you come in once in a while, don't you, girls? It's like, oh, you're talking about the size of his dick. What does that have to do with the fucking car? You don't understand. You don't get it. And that's the beauty of men and women. We're different. Women want to do this a certain way, and men do is, we're going to work on the car. We're going to make fun of John's dick because he's got a small penis. Why are you making fun of his dick? That's the way men work. It's hard to explain, especially to women. They don't get it. It's not that we don't love the guy, right? We go out there, we give each other a hard time. Because really, in our lives, in our daily lives, our weekly lives with our women, we rarely have an outlet just to talk shit, just to talk smack, just to float ideas. Hey, Johnny. I said, oh, you have a small penis. What he really means is, I understand what you're saying. I'm not sure what the solution is, but I get it, right? Women don't get that. They don't get the underlying message, but that's all right. Viva la différence.
I'm aware myself that is increasingly difficult to find in today's day and age, so I don't really know what to suggest. But yeah, don't put this expectation on men to be this highly trained emotional therapist because they're not great at it. And it's cruel, it's harsh to expect them to be great at something that they naturally aren't great at.
Actually, we're probably really good therapists, but we don't understand women. Because women think in a way that's it
would be like if a guy expected you to be great at something typically masculine. I don't know. I'm being very
Why are you making fun of his dick? How is that helpful? Why are you Yeah. It's just one of those things, man. It's the way it is.
Typical here, fixing a car. It's like if he came home and was like, I don't know how to fix my car. Well, you should do it. And you go, well, I don't know anything about cars. I can't fix a car. And he goes, well, you really should. You're my girlfriend. It's your job to be here for me, and you can't even fix my car. That's not very nice, is it?
You're kidding. The expectations and requirements for men has risen so much. It's still all the money that you need to provide, but now it's also
and
half
the time
of all
and all the therapy,
and meeting almost all of her emotional needs too. It's a lot, and it especially stings that we exist in a culture that paints men as though they're these awful sexist leeches. When men are
most of them are just trying to get by. They're just doing their best, trying to get by, and just getting beaten down by the world, seemingly around every corner. But majority of them,
most women are like the same. We're just trying to get by. They're trying to live our lives. That's it.
Bloody going. The sad truth is, a lot of them don't keep going. And then we wonder why higher suicide rates are in men. Well, look at what we're doing to them. I don't really want to go down that dark route right now in this video. But it's, you know, we've got to live in reality, and that is a part of reality.
Doing so much more now than they ever did in the past. You've never had anything like the culture as it exists now. There's never been a time in history where men have done more to serve women's needs. And yet at the same time, it seems like there's never been a greater level of vitriol towards men. It's one of the reasons why at some point you just start tuning out all the complaints about men, because you think, look, there's no acknowledgement of the progress that's already been made. So it just...
No, you're absolutely right, Alexander. It's as if we live in the Middle Ages where women do pick your fucking poison. Who gives a shit? As if nothing has changed ever. It's such nonsense.
Seems like, you know, there's no winning. The desire for men.
I mean, that's their fucking playbook, isn't it? That's the playbook. We're the same as all. You look at African American people, right? Obviously, they were slaves. The ancestors were slaves. In 1865, do we think nothing has changed in the last 170 years? Come on now.
To do more and more and more, it just seems insatiable. And this is why you have so many men who just look at modern marriages and relationships and say, it's not worth it. This transaction sucks. I'm getting a bad deal. The requirements for men has risen so much, and at the same time, the expectations for women have sunk. There is less expectation on women to solely do the housework, the cooking, the cleaning, the shopping, the parenting. And if you even remotely suggest that it might be a wife's duty to attend to her husband's sexual needs,
you're about to get cancelled on if you was to say anything like that. I disagree. I think you should be able to say, like, look, you should be doing this for me. Like, I do this, so you should be doing that. But the general consensus is, if you was to say something like that, you're a sexist, you're a misogynist, you know, all of those buzzwords that we always hear to villainize men.
God help you. So for everything that men are offering women, what exactly are they getting in return? Let's watch the video again. It's so
they're getting...
So I think, like, the bigger question, because...
They're getting diseased fucking tuna fish.
You have, like, these high standards for your man, right? What are you prepared to offer him?
Well, myself.
Like, what do you think that you... Okay.
Why does this make me laugh so much? Men, are you paying attention? Her silence speaks volume.
It's not just the silence either. It's when she answers the question. It's the double blink and the head.
It's just not the silence either. Fucking English chicks, gotta love them.
Shake like me, duh.
So here is my advice. If you are dating someone and you are considering making them your wife, be explicit about what you're trading with each other. Romantic relationships are transactional.
Don't get married though, because that would be the bad idea.
And so lay out
really bad idea.
Terms of the deal as clearly as you can. Have the conversations, talk about it. This is what I am offering, and this is what I would like in return. The true love is unconditional myth is total bullshit. It's just used by women who want to manipulate men into getting stuff we're not having to give anything back. Getting married is a huge deal, and I want you to get a good deal. So lay out the terms. Do not settle for vague answers. Have her actually lay it out. Okay, if we team up, if we do this thing, if we create a marriage, we partner up like this, I'm going to be contributing this. I'm going to be contributing my respect, my companionship, my fidelity, this much of the housework, this much of the parenting. I don't know the exact details about what you want out of your marriage and what your vision is for your life going into the future. So that's not for me to actually dictate the terms of your deal. I'm just saying, make a deal, talk about it,
clarify.
Now, here's the thing though, and we're probably gonna end it here soon. No matter what deal you make, no matter what rules you set down in a piece of paper. Okay, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. She has the ultimate power given to her by the government to say, nah, I want out and I want half your shit. See, if this was a fair deal, right? Whatever Alexander just said, if this was a fair thing, it's like, you want outs? Okay, you go. We're done. Thank you. Doesn't work that way. At any time, for any reason or no reason at all, she can punch out, take half your shit and your children, and get a big fucking payout. But what the fuck is wrong with this system? Anyone see a problem? Anyone? Cushy says, thanks, Ghost. Hey, Ghost is here. Ghost Pirate Sloan of Lachlan. Oh, God. Oh, thanks, Ghost. I wish I could do it again. Going out on a limb, assuming I know. Oh, my God, Cushy. Were you rejected from somebody's panel? I'm terribly sorry. But here's the point. Men will do whatever, anything, almost. Right? Work 120 hours a week. Bring the money home. Give it to mama. Put up with her bullshit. Be the goddamn therapist. We'll sit there and listen to her fucking nonsense because that's our job, right? But at any time, for no reason whatsoever, she can destroy you. And we've given this power to emotionally challenged children. Now, if that doesn't frighten you, guys, I don't know what will. Anyway, I'm going to go to bed. I will see you guys tomorrow when we're streaming some solar eclipses. It'll be great. You guys, thank you. Thanks for coming by. If you want to hit the like button, that'd be fine. Sub, whatever. All right, we'll see you. Take care. And sayonara, homeboys. Yo.